SparkMe is a perfect place for startups because we have people from 5 different accelerators who are here to find a perfect team for their new generation. Now, let me present you the jury. Dr. Eli Opper, John Biggs, Monty Metzger, Chris Weinhorst, and Malik Gournouy. We had 21 applications from all around the world, and now we have 8 startups. Cruise.me from the UK, Zap Wireless from Bulgaria, Bar Game from Serbia, Social Spot from Macedonia, Tour Via Me from Montenegro, Truck Track from Serbia, Stream Arena from Serbia, and lovely Heroku from Croatia. The rules. Unfortunately, there are some rules. Every startup has 5 minutes to present their project, then a few minutes for questions from the jury. Jury will choose after all of them finish. We will announce the 3 finalists tonight at the cocktail party, which starts at 8, at the pool area, so please be there. The finalists will present again tomorrow, same time, same place, and explain why they are the best to go to New York. So, first to go is Cruise.me from UK. Stephen?
Thank you, everybody. It's a privilege to be here. Changing everything. Changing everything. As web entrepreneurs, it's what we expect. It's what we hope. It's what we dream about. It's about taking something special, creating something new. We actually obsess about this, don't we? To go into a new vertical and be completely disruptive. To go ahead and create extraordinary solutions for some very big problems. That's exactly what we're doing. We are reimagining the online cruise booking experience. My name is Stephen Chip. I'm the co-founder and CEO, and this is Cruise.me. First, I want to take you through a 10,000-foot overview of this booming industry. $38 billion in revenue. 7.5% growth rate year after year since 1980. And last year alone, 17 million passengers rode the high seas in 2012. So I have a question for everybody out here today. How many of you are going on holiday next year? Raise your hands. Okay, pretty much everybody, a couple are not. Now, how many of you are actually planning on going on a cruise? Let me see some hands. All right, 1, 2, that's about to change. And it's getting to a younger demographic all the time. So, even though the cruise market is growing at a rapid pace, there's still a lot of pain points with booking stuff online. It's one of the most intimidating and complicated travel products out there in the space today. Let's take a look at why. 2,000 plus embarkation ports, dozens of cruise lines, hundreds of onboard activities, thousands of shore excursions, dozens of cabin categories, hundreds of specialty restaurants, multiple flights. How do I deal with all that and how do I sync it? As you can see, it's far more complicated than booking a flight or a hotel. Let's take a look at some of the category leaders. Very difficult. And right now, you have roughly somewhere in the neighborhood of mindless, endless amount of drop-downs, very difficult to navigate. As a result, only 10% of cruises ever get booked online. It's remarkable. So how do we take an old, existing, boring model and transform it into something exciting? How do we take a caterpillar and turn it into a butterfly? Search, discover, connect. It's not only our tagline, but it really are 3 words that help define what Cruise.me is. Let's take a look inside of search. What if we get rid of all the drop-down menus? And what if we suggest things along the way and make it easy? What if you don't know where you're going to go? What if we make it easy to be able to sort it out by offering opportunity to search cruises? What if we provide inspiration along the way? We've licensed an amazing category of over 4,000 high-quality images. We have over 1,200 pages of custom-created content for our viewers. Let's take a look at discovery. Discovery is absolutely missing. There is no discovery right now in any of these models. Isn't that what we're looking for? What if it's all on one page? San Juan, don't know a lot about it. What if you could learn all about the destination you're traveling to? What if you could learn about the culture, the food, watch videos? What if it was an immersive experience where you could then find cruises that pass through those ports? That's exactly what we've done. What if, instead of having a complicated linear path, if it was a very simple path? Connect. Let's talk about what that looks like. It's basically social. It isn't enough right now to connect via Twitter or Facebook. You definitely need to have more points of engagement. What about people having the opportunity to learn exactly where it is that they're going to be traveling to? I want to talk about our patents. In a few short months, we filed three patents in the US. We've got another one pending. Basically spent a lot of time working out the solution. Our commission structure is like this. It's twofold. We first earn commissions by selling cruises and the like, and the second part is licensing our technology. White label solutions to a very boring industry, opening up APIs to then be able to open it up to the consumers and be able to do some amazing things. The team is located in the UK, located in Australia. Two of us are located inside of the States. Benoit spent 5.5 years with Norwegian Cruise Line. He is a master of his destiny. And what I want to say with you tonight is finally, Cruise.me has come home to Montenegro, the birthplace of our domain. Thank you.
Thank you, Steven. Any questions from the jury? Questions? Okay. Next to go is Zap Wireless.
No questions?
We have one.
So,
okay, sorry.
So to clear it up, you guys are actually grabbing cruise info from other like, is it like the kayak of cruises, or what's the goal here?
Yeah, well, it's different than the kayak of cruises because we're best category pricing. But we work with the GDS, meaning we're going to pull down the same information. Kayak works with the same GDS we work with and pull down the data.
So you're not, it's not aggregating. You're actually doing your own sort of.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys are like Cheap Caribbean is one of those. We use the GDSs. Is that right?
Correct. We actually use the same GDS a lot of the folks out there use. We just made it more engaging and easier to sort through than the typical methodology.
All right. Nothing.
Just one question. Your presentation was great, but how you'll make money?
Okay,
you took it as it's obvious, but I see it's a huge market, but how do you make money from it?
Okay, that's a great question. Thank you. We have two strategies, two different ways. We actually have a couple different ways of making money. The first way is being an online cruise distribution system. People will come and visit the site. We'll be able to sell cruises online. We make a commission from selling cruises, okay? There's a lot of upsells along the way, so you may buy a shore excursion when you get to shore. All of that's included, and that's a commission. The second part of that is earning through our technology. We're licensing our technology. As a matter of fact, right now we're in conversations with two of the biggest players in the space. They're interested in our tech, but moreover, we're interested in actually having them do the fulfillment, which is handling all the parts about the actual booking of the cruise. We're only going to book it online because we're technologists. That's what we're great at. They're phenomenal at doing the other piece. Any more questions?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Steven.
Thank you.
So we are ready for the next one. It is Zap Wireless from Bulgaria.
Okay, hello, good day everyone. I am Tino, this is my co-founder Robert, and we are Zap Wi-Fi. So what do we do basically? As the tagline says, we enable venues and businesses and brands to target, engage, and monetize their consumers, obviously using Wi-Fi. So, how many of you here today are actually right now using this hotel's Wi-Fi? Can I see some hands maybe? So I would say this is from 70 to 80%. This is a standard number. All of you came here and connected to Wi-Fi immediately, as soon as you came. But at the same time, the hotel, the venue, even the event organizer is trying to push you information and notifications using some apps, some social networks, these messages on the walls, but they're not using the only place where most of the people go and look, and this is Wi-Fi. We can actually enable venues and brands to talk to you directly. We can actually say who are they talking to by name and surname. So this is a very valuable commodity to advertisers. I came to this idea as I come from Split, Croatia, which is a highly touristed city. I've noticed basically that there's a lack of platforms from distributing information freely to users, to visitors. The second best thing that you can do to reach tourists in Split is hand out flyers. This is like 1950s. There's a new era, and basically you need to take advantage of it. So I started a quest. I wanted to do something about it, and I wanted to enable free exchange of information over existing Wi-Fi networks that were all over the place, and they were just not being used smartly. So basically, I built this. Maybe you cannot see it the best, but this is basically a content delivery platform that enables any business with a Wi-Fi to talk to its visitors, to engage them, and ultimately to provide access to internet. So let's say this hotel. This hotel doesn't have this Wi-Fi because this isn't their core business. They are into selling rooms. They're not into IT services or building applications. We are doing this for them and providing this as a service. So we launched in May 2012 in Split. And by having only 40 to 60 venues, that being hotels, restaurants, bars, we actually managed to reach 100,000 landing page views in 90 days. This year, we had close to 100,000 unique users of our system on only 40 venues, and these were small bars, small restaurants. So when we saw these numbers, we decided to go out and try something bigger, something more bold, and maybe actually go global with this, because this is an opportunity that has not been tapped, that has not been used in a good and smart way yet. So Robert here will tell us a bit more about what we are planning to do next.
So as you can see, we've had pretty phenomenal results in Split. Click-through rates 5 times the industry average. We proved the model, generated some money, but our focus was really proving the model. We were told, why don't you guys go global? Get the hell out of Split. This is a great product. Go global. Now we're ready. Here's the future. We've done a lot of market research. I have 40 years of experience. I'm only 52. No, I'm much older. 40 years of experience in marketing and advertising, running companies, doing startups. And we've targeted these markets because they are proven, recession-resistant, captive audience, mobile-dependent folks who will go crazy with Zap. For instance, let's look at the conference market. This is a gigantic market, billions and millions of dollars. Exhibitors spend hundreds of thousands of dollars every year, as we did when I ran a medical products company, on booths. Attendance is enormous. Focusing on some of the biggest venues. Click the next slide, please. Here's a conference projection. Imagine going to a medical conference. Gerontologists are there. There's Pfizer's ad at the bottom. You're seeing it over and over and over again. Pfizer is spending $50,000, $80,000 on their booth. They're going to give us $4,000 or $5,000 for this. And of course, if you're in London, you want to know London restaurants. You want to know what the currency exchange is. These are sponsored advertising we can generate money from, as well as applications. Okay. Here's the team.
So this is the team. This is Robert, our Chief Marketing Officer and Director. We have Andrei Shtilenko, a Russian coder, developer, and former CTO of another successful Russian startup. And me as basically a hacker, a guy who just does things from scratch and find proper partners to continue with. So we have received several awards on startup competitions like this. We got funded by 11. Thank you for that again. So we are now at a stage where we actually are looking for another round of investment. So if there's any interested people, don't be afraid to contact us on any of these ways. Well, thank you.
guys.
Yeah, questions?
Thank you, Andrei. Thank you, Tino.
All right, well, you have to fix that.
Any questions?
I got a question. Look at this. Z.
Oh, man,
Z.
yeah.
Can you give them Zap? No.
So the tools over here.
4 Z's is the worst of all those possible things. Just get it's like Zap.me or something. He's right there. Ask him for that because this is awful.
Okay, I'll be
This is unreadable. I mean, I don't even know what I'm looking at up there. So you don't
it's
do
on
that.
Wi-Fi, so you don't need to look at it.
Yeah,
You just
well,
see it.
if somebody's going to try to find you, you're going to come up to them and they're going to, just go to zap.com, and they're going to go to zap.com, and zap.com has got all your customers.
I agree, but we've seen
This
this.
is a branding issue.
Yeah, it is.
But we don't need users.
I know, but you need hotels. Hotels are going to be looking for you.
Yeah, we actually approached them. This is a
Don't, it never works out.
And I agree.
So how does it actually work for the users? So they come to a hotel, connect to the Wi-Fi network, and then they will get this advertisement page popping up. Or
Not just advertising, because advertising has been done before and people hate it. This is
Exactly.
something where they see the page, click button, and you're online. You can look at it. You don't have to look at it. You don't need to give me your mail. You don't need to like me on Facebook. But if you want, you can get all this information about the venue, what's happening tonight, what's happening out in the city, without having to go through Google and Google Translate and stuff like that.
And you're actually building the hardware for them as well?
Not really. Like a hotel like this already has the hardware. And I just tell them what parameters to input there to make it work. But for something like a restaurant, if they want it...
Do they own their own hardware, or do they already have a partner? Because I've seen similar stuff before. When you go to their landing page, you always see like a page with like the weather and stuff.
Usually, yeah, there are some good solutions, but not properly like marketed, because usually they put their own website, which has been built who knows when, and it's been updated in 2012. And it's not relevant actually to the user because it's out of date.
All right.
This is because this is not their core business, like I said in the beginning.
Hey, do you guys have information on how valuable these ads are, like what the click-through rates are? Like, is this like a great platform for advertising, or?
Yeah, basically we get click-through rates up with a proper targeted campaign. It can be around 10 to 20%, which is a lot. So I can get. It's because if Pfizer is targeting doctors are more likely to click on the ad, and this gets more value for their money than actually putting it on Google, or maybe even spending on some medical publication where you don't even get the numbers of people who viewed it or whatever. This is interactive. You can send them a message, talk to them, book a meeting with them even.
In Split, the average time on our page is 41 seconds before you go off. 41 seconds.
So people are kind of interested in what's on the page. They're not bothered, so hopefully.
So what's the exact pricing for that? So if a hotel wants to get Zap?
Right now we are doing only ad-supported version, which means the hotel gets it for free. And we monetize by going to our partners who are advertisers, and they actually pay us for it. So like if there's imagine there's Zap here in the hotel, I'm betting that some restaurant here would be dying to get all of the users here to see their message and come to them for dinner. It just makes sense, right?
What about the competition? What you really have that protect you from the fact that everyone can do it?
Well, then they'll have me for the competition, which is never a good start. But I actually seen some competitors, they all focus on actually pushing these big ads and banners that just are in your face and make you watch a video for 30 seconds before you can get your mail. We were never about that. We were about the interactivity. We were about providing added value to the Wi-Fi, not just being a parasite on Wi-Fi that you just push ads and make someone pay for it. So because custom applications like call the waiter, if you're in a restaurant, we have an app, you sit down, you open the Wi-Fi, and there's a big button saying call the waiter. You press it and then the waiter comes. And stuff like this is what is our unique selling point. And this is why we actually had 80% success rate. We went to 4 hotels, we got into 3. We went to 10 restaurants, we actually got into 8, and because 2 of them could not be installed because they had old infrastructure, bad internet connection, just it wouldn't work. It's a tech issue. Yeah? It's basically a content platform, not just parasitic ads on Wi-Fi. Okay. Thank you very much.
An applause for Robert and Tino, please. Thank you, guys. You can just leave it here. Thank you. The third one is Bark Game from Serbia. An applause for them.
Hello, everybody. Does this work? Hello, everybody. My name is Milan, and I'm here to present you Bark. It's a mobile game for the Android platform, and it's about dogs. What was the problem we tried to solve? These days, kids are crazy about mobile phones. They spend a lot of time on it. And I know from my experience, when I come home, my kids I'm trying to hug them, and they're trying to steal my phone and start playing. So that's the story that many of parents know well. And they are not always happy with it because they think that kids are spending too much time on games that are sometimes offensive, bloody, and they would be more happy if they can learn something or even do something good with that time. So we will try to see if it's possible to make these two worlds together, to have a bridge. And maybe the game with dogs would be interesting, which is not filled with bloodshed, or you can actually learn something from that game, and at the end maybe help actual real dogs. So this is Bark. This is a game that we are working on. It's a game where your mission is to guide your dog who is lost to home through all kinds of obstacles. And what is different among others that this game has real dog breeds as characters, and you can learn something about them, some trivia, or you can just pick your breed, pick your world, and play. It's sensitive to gyroscope, so you have this movement. If you lean it to the right, it will go faster. If you lean it to the opposite, it will go slower. On top, you jump. And on swoosh, you are chasing off your enemies. Of course, we will do more on the engagement to have more these top-ups, more special skills for the dogs, and also to approach to the dog lovers, to the kids and the parents, to make them more interesting. We can use this info at the beginning, so after every level, maybe you can have this a little quiz. So if you answer right, then you will have extra points. Or you have a mixed breed, you have some Fido, you want it in the game, then maybe you can cartoonize it and have it run among all the other dogs in the game. So business model is based on microtransactions, in-game advertising, and we have some sort of social responsibility also built in. Microtransactions, you can unlock some new special worlds, new levels, and new breeds. In-game advertising, this is obviously interesting for the pet industry. You can brand the bones that dog is collecting, or maybe you can brand the whole world if you're, I don't know, producer of the pet food. And the next thing is social responsibility that we mentioned. We think that it could be good to have a win-win situation, to actually play, learn, and help actual dogs by giving some part of the earnings to the actual dog shelters. And also for the game, it would be good because you can make a huge PR boost at the beginning, because the dog lover community is huge. And at the beginning, if you have this initial boost for them to share this information and to start using this game, so next time you're updating, you will have bigger base. It will be transparent through our website, so it could be tracked. The market is well known. Android is in rising. Mobile gaming industry also, microtransactions are dominant. And these are, again, some of our competitive advantages. This is the first somehow social responsible mobile game, which could give this, I don't know, how can I say it, this initial boost in the community of dog lovers, but also it's a mobile game that is acceptable also for the kids, but also for the parents. There's no bloodshed, and it has educational part. So, and it has actual dogs, dog breeds in it as a differentiator. Also, I have missed to mention that the team behind all this has different skills that are good match. We have guys from sales and from leading projects in telco industry. We have guys from the mobile advertising world, and our lead promoter, our lead developer. Sorry, lead developer. He didn't want to take money for this, and he had a huge job of doing this. He wanted to be part of this story together with us. These are some milestones. We didn't consult numerologist for this. And this is our lead tester, one of them, Marko, 4 years old. So this was Bark, and feel free to ask if you want anything.
I have a question to you. Looking at the game, even if it's the best game out there, what's your vision in the next 5 years? Will you just improve it, or how will the company look like when you grow and scale?
Yes. There are 340 dog breeds in the world, so we have a lot of work to do to cover all this up and to have more engaging worlds for kids for players to enjoy. So I would personally love to have this engagement moment that all the dog lovers could actually upload the photos of their dogs in this info part in trivia, but also as cartoonized as a hero in the game. And also I would like to have all these 340 breeds in it, so everybody who likes husky, a cocker, a poodle, whatever, he can find that breed and play with it. We plan updates, let's say, for 2 breeds in an update, so it would be a lot of...
Yeah, just to comment that the uniqueness of the game is the social part, right?
Yes, and that it's actually dog breeds in the game. So you have on the market applications about dog breeds and game with dogs, but this is like combined.
Yeah, just I think that whenever you advertise your game or whenever you talk about it, you should mention as the first thing that this has the social responsibility. Then I think it will be much greater than just to add this later.
Yeah, yeah. You're totally right there.
No more questions. Okay.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Marko. The fourth one is Social Spot from Macedonia. An applause for them. For Marian, I hope.
Check. Okay, hi guys, my name is Marian Nikolovsky, co-owner and senior software. Sorry? You cannot find the presentation?
Social Spot, this one. Yeah. Sorry about this.
This is the end of the presentation. Can you bring it to... So, okay, let's start from the beginning. My name is Marian Nikolovsky, co-owner and senior software engineer at Emit Knowledge, the company that stands behind Social Spot. Before I start, I would like to thank the SparkMe team for the excellent organization and to thank to all of you who are here tonight with us. Emit Knowledge started as a company, started as a result as a result of team cohesion, enthusiasm, and a lot of coffee, so we could create a company that can do advanced research development and product development. With the latest experience that we have, we come up with this Spark to solve companies' common problem, which is, did you get the memo? Social Spot is all about fixing and improving collaboration and communication into the companies. I think that you're all aware that every day companies using the email clients too much, and the email and Skype, that they're using emails and Skype as a medium, and then they have a lot of problems with this type of communication channels. The most questions that are asked today by the employees are, hey, where can I find the document that an ex-employee sent to me 6 months ago? Or did you send this email to your colleague? So, as a solution to this problem, we come up with Social Spot. Social Spot captures employees' knowledge and expertise and encourage the employees to share, collaborate, and communicate in a more comfortable manner. As you can see, it has a very simple and sleek user interface, which requires zero configuration and zero learning curve for employees to start using it. Simply, employees can write and share posts, questions, announcements. They can attach documents and photos from Dropbox, SkyDrive, Boxnet, Google Drive, you name it. Or they can simply add links, YouTube videos, or map to a certain location. At Social Spot, we have developed an excellent search which could retrieve results in a matter of a second. So employees could search for documents, for posts, for colleagues, contacts, groups, and any kind of data that they are needing to find about their related project or related work. This awesome product we've built, targets marketing, sales, and IT companies and departments. Our analysis shows that there are more than 800,000 companies around the globe to whom we can do some business. For them, we prepare some excellent pricing plans, which includes the service, a free lifetime support, and unlimited document attachments from their favorite online storage service. And all this goes for $12 per user per month. For enterprises, we can always cut the deal, which the price will depend from the number of employees that they have. And because we are a startup, we support the startup culture. For startups, it will be completely free. Like any other product, we have competitors too, but at Social Spot, companies own their data. Companies can simply connect with their favorite online storage service like Dropbox, SkyDrive, Boxnet, and once an attachment or a document is shared on Social Spot, when that document will be removed from their online service, it will not be available on Social Spot too. So basically companies manage their security and their data. On the other hand, we have this meaningful Google-like search engine that can give answers to the employees in a matter of a second. I would like to notice that soon we are going to be out with the beta. So everyone who is interested and who want to apply during the conference, we're going to get 30% discount for a lifetime. For the end, I would like to leave you with one thought, that the team is the lifeblood of a business, so put your team on the spot. Thank you.
Thank you, Marian. Any questions for Marian?
So are you directly, this screen is like 100 by 60 pixels, right? This is crazy. Yeah. I've never seen that before. This is an amazing screen. Who are your main competitors? I can't tell. I really can't see anything. Who are your main competitors? Like Convo or Facebook, or what's the goal here?
Sorry, I didn't.
What are your main competitors?
What are we making better?
Competitors.
What are our competitors? Okay. Our competitors currently are Jammer, Microsoft Jammer, Jive, but Jive gives hosting, Jive gives the platform so you could install it on your own servers. We have Social Text. All of them give a light on integration. So they focus on integration with other services and softwares. On the other hand, we try to keep it simple, because mid-sized companies often does not use many external systems and don't need to integrate. They don't need the complexity. We keep it simple with our platform.
And what's the URL? Because I didn't see that either.
SOCLSPOT. Let me.
There it was. Oh. Wait, oh well. Okay, you just email me.
Okay.
Yeah, just to comment that there is now one Estonian startup as well that solves exactly the same problem. So they are called Fleep Hub. So you can probably connect with them as well to look at what they are doing. But with Social Spot, can you actually get rid of the email altogether or not?
Can we get the? Sorry.
Can you get rid of the email? So that you don't need to use email at all anymore in your company?
That depends on the company and on the employees. So in theory, yes, but in the reality, you always have the need to communicate via email, but with the clients. Our idea is to improve and lower the usage of email between the teams in the company. So let's say you have a support team and you have a development team and a sales team. In order to avoid the email chaos, you can simply add all of your team members in Social Spot, create a group, let's say project ABC, where all of the employees will be a part of that group. So they can see when an action is taken on the project, everyone can track and see, can engage in that process and can know the status of the project or whatever the process is. On the other hand, if you're using emails, you're always taking the risk that the information will not get propagated to all of the involved parties that should know about that information. Or usually have the problem that one employee can tell another employee an incorrect information. At Social Spot, you have that information in one place. You have the knowledge in one place.
Okay.
I'm having a little trouble understanding the difference between your guys' service and something like a Stack Exchange that's local or a wiki. How do you guys differentiate yourselves from services like that?
So yes, it does not look like Stack Overflow or Stack Exchange. Our idea is to keep the learning curve at minimum level. So because of that, we've implemented Facebook alike or social network alike service, because each one of us know how to use Facebook, know how to use LinkedIn. When we have a software, a solution that simply use that knowledge so the employees can start using it without having to learn, we are getting to the point, because we want to avoid the change to be hard for the employees.
So it's, I guess, the simplicity is like this key feature.
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. The key features of Social Spot are that companies own their data, so you can connect your existing Dropbox, SkyDrive, Boxnet accounts to Social Spot, so employees can start using it. And on the other hand, we have the search engine, which can give you answers to all the questions that employees are asking the system.
It seems like they still have to trust you with the data. You might not, Dropbox might have the bytes, but you're going to have the link, and you could download the bytes. So there's still some like trust involved.
If you're on the internet, you don't have privacy.
Okay, fair point.
To comment, so I think that you are trying to fight against something which is the human being. Whatever you will do, we as the customers will have the same problems from the Windows, because I don't believe you can really solve those problems in parentheses, but this is your belief. And I suggest that you will not be proud of discount for life at this time, because it's kind of a weakness.
Discounts are for periods.
No, you still have you have nothing. So you give some discount for life. You should be more proud in your product. So don't give any discount today.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Marian.
Thank you.
Let me welcome Bojan from Tour Via Me from Montenegro. An applause for them.
Hello everyone, I'm Boyan. A few months ago, I was looking for a good escorted tour into Europe for me and my girlfriend. After countless tour selling websites, I finally got some results. It took me 10 days to find a tour that we wanted and several more days to book it. On each website, I struggled with a lot of inconsistent and unorganized data. I had to decode all this text, barely visible, but not any better and any better screen. And to do that, I had to Google for each place mentioned in this itinerary, so I would at least get some perspective on what are landmarks, restaurants, attractions, and other places that we are supposed to see. And for getting any additional information about the tour, I had to call them on the phone, even just to get tour agenda or a tour brochure. And this was not the problem with only one website. Every website, tour operator, travel agent, or third-party web service that I have visited had this awful user experience. Those days, I often felt like this guy. And that made me thinking, there has to be a better way. And there is now. Tour.me is a web store that aggregates and sells escorted tours. We help people find, compare, and book tours. And this is how we display a tour. All this data is aggregated from multiple sources: tour operators' itineraries, agendas, brochures, Google Places, and others. Here you can see all relevant tour information organized and categorized so it can be consumed much faster and much easier. Countries, cities, accommodation, transportation, activities, everything is visible at just one glance. And all this is combined with the map with all the places the tour has to offer. Reviews at Tour.me can only be made by those who bought and experienced the tour. Good, organized, and structured data enables us to provide our users with the best search experience in the industry. With our unique data system, we can do much more than our competitors. This enables us to give the users ability to compare tours by much more useful parameters. We can data mine to get to know our users better, to learn what their preferences are, so that we can suggest them more relevant tours. And this is just scratching the surface of everything we can do with all this data without any extra manual work. Now let's talk about numbers. Global market for escorted tours is $36 billion with 4% annual growth rate. An average book tour costs $2,600, and commission rate that we will get from every sale is at least 10%, which is industry standard. To work with us, tour operators doesn't need to change anything in their current business model. We have all reasons to believe that we will have much better conversion rate than our competitors. They are still stuck on that bad user experience. Our plan is to launch product in private beta, by the end of October. That's when acquiring partners starts. We'll start selling as soon as possible. Then we will focus on getting as much feedback as we can so we can improve existing features and then add new ones. And that's not all. We can provide this as a cloud service to tour operators and travel agents. And we can add affiliate program. And eventually, we plan to be a well-recognized web service in travel industry. This is Tour.me team. We are all longtime friends. Dražen and I worked on our first web projects together. Dražen and Miloš are working together at State University for over 5 years. And me and Miroslav are freelancing as a team for 3 years now. And Seka is working in the industry for over 5 years. Please visit our website. We would love you to sign up to visit us. And thank you for your attention today.
Thank you, Boyan. Questions?
This is also our first presentation, so thank you for applause.
Thank you. Questions from the jury?
Thank you. Do you have already some of the tour providers signed up for your service?
We have a person in the team that works in the industry, so we already have contacts with them, but we don't have already signed them up because we didn't release private beta for them. They know they have design sketches, but they still don't have access to our service.
Okay, so you at least have somebody working with touring companies as well, not only with end users.
Yes.
That's good.
Please.
It seems like an industry with a lot of like unstructured data, like all of these little bits of pieces and all this like unstructured stuff. Do you have any, how are you going to turn that into like this nice structured view other than just through manual labor maybe?
It's basically a half automated process. Like we are partnering with tour operators, they can enter it what they want because it's simple drag and drop, sell a category, add Google Places point, add pictures, add everything. But in the first branch, we'll help them like move forward to enter their first tours to our service so they can see how it's done. And that is not really like heavy lifting. So we can do it like we can add 300 tours in like 2 weeks.
Okay. So initially, you guys yourselves are doing it, then eventually like a self-serve model for the tour operators? Okay.
Yes, it's impossible in another way. Any more questions, please?
So what kind of revenues do you expect? What's the revenue model?
Revenue model, we have two. First is that we earn commission, 10% from every sale. That is the minimum, that is standard in the industry. And that's what's happening on our web store. Other model is taking this to cloud service. So we can provide that. Our first initial partners are tour operators. And there are much more travel agents than tour operators in the world. And we want to give this cloud service to tour agents also, because we don't have them for partners, and we need them.
Okay. No more questions?
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Bram, once again. The next one is Truck Trek from Serbia. I want to welcome Vukašin on stage.
Hi everyone, my name is Vukašin, and up until very recently I was a startup activist. I co-founded a non-profit which was dedicated to building the startup ecosystem in Belgrade, and we started a bunch of projects, a bunch of blogs, I think I've got the wrong presentation, but never mind. A number of events from dark basements, from small events in dark basements up to several hundred people conferences, up to pitching sessions at the Royal Palace in Belgrade where actual royalties attended. But the time came for me to actually start a startup of my own to practice what I was preaching all those years in my community. And I had luck that a good friend of mine also wanted to quit his job and start a startup of his own. So meet Vuk, my co-founder, who was programming basically before he started walking. And since he was a computer whiz in his family, he stepped up to help his mom manage her trucking business. And he created a number of simple spreadsheets that were actually so good at what they were intended to do that she managed to sell them on to a number of her colleagues. Having a great set of skills among our team, design, business development, and software engineering, we decided to have a go at creating a software company that will help help create the future of the trucking business. When you think about it, trucking is one of the foundations of our civilization. Everything around you and everything on you has been on at least one truck, from the bricks in this building to the pack of gum in your pocket. But of course, like every other industry or business, it has its set of problems. With trucking, it's the complexity of the whole thing. You need to think about a lot of stuff every day, the whole day. And one of the biggest problems that you need to manage your scary costs. For trucking, fuel is the biggest cost. Even for a small family company like the one Vuk's mom has, which has 4 trucks, it takes 20,000 euros of fuel each month, and you can only guess it can get up to millions for bigger fleets. Our guess is that with companies which have this number, have to have this much operational capital, they can invest some of it into tools that can help them make their businesses better. In terms of how big the industry is, this is a number, the yearly revenue in the US. This is the same figure but for the UK. And what is very interesting is that the vast majority of all trucking companies are SMEs. This is the percentage for the US, this is the one for the UK. SMEs are our first segment that we will be going after. So in terms of web companies for trucking industry, 40 million euros is the yearly revenue of Timicom, European top freight exchange. And there are also interesting acquisitions going on also in Europe for this, in this space. Obviously, we are not the first guys to think of building software for trucking businesses, but there is a lot of legacy desktop apps out there. So trucking industry has sort of been, there hasn't been any really good products out there for trucking industry, and we think that is wrong. There are some cloud apps out there, but we believe that the trucking industry and even the small companies deserve a world-class product with a big vision. And this is what we're building, and in the first phase, our idea is to help them manage their resources, their drivers, their trucks, their business operations, help them to save money, help them to stay compliant and have insights into how their business is performing. This should have been another slide, but we're going to develop the system into a fully integrated system which will have mobile apps for the drivers and integration with telematics in terms of GPS trackers, fuel sensors, and to leverage the big data that we will be collecting over time. So far, since April, we've raised a small seed round. We are finishing our MVP, which we are putting in the hands of our users in a matter of 10 days. And we are planning to launch in the UK, where we already have partners set up for helping us with sales and distribution, to use that position to expand to the EU and the US. And we hope to be able to get partners and potential investors for our expansion in the US in New York next year. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Now questions for Vukasin.
What's the average revenue per client?
That's a good one. We're playing around with a couple of numbers. We are hoping to get to 100 euros revenue per client, but this is something that we cannot know before we launch the product. It's all guesswork right now.
Okay, it's always the same, even if they have 4 trucks or 10 or more?
Well, we're hoping for the number to be average at 100 euros. Obviously, if you have 3 trucks, we probably won't be charging you 100 euros per month. But if you have 200, which we hope that this is an area where we can expand into as time goes, we can charge you up to, I don't know, a lot more than that. Well, the thing is, a thing that's very interesting for this product right here, which not only does not look very good, it also has some problems in working. Companies in Serbia, which is not the richest country in Europe or the world, are already paying 200 euros for this per month. So we are guessing that we can have those types of companies within our base and sort of get the average to what we'd like it to be.
And how do you want to reach your customers? How do you want to then convince them and also just get in contact with them?
Yeah, for the initial phase, for getting to product market fit before we start scaling, we are intending to make partnerships with associations, since every country in the world has a trucking association, or many of them. For instance, in Serbia, which is a relatively small country, there are two and actually three of them, but one is defunct. In the UK, we are already talking to a company which is providing consultancy services to trucking companies, and they have 40 clients which are in our ballpark of the type of client that we would like to get to. And we are hoping to get a number of clients from companies like that who provide consultancy services to those companies, and through a revenue share model. For the scaling, we'll probably have to build a sales team.
It looks to me a great idea, but I hope you know the history that in the States, for example, like 20, 30 years ago, there were systems dealing with the same problem, but the drivers' association was so strong that they ruined everything. Even they had broken antennas. But today, in our era, Facebook, everything, we are all accepting that someone knows everything about ourselves. So this is a different time. But 30 years ago, it was a failure, because no driver is like that. They'll know in the States that he is now between Texas and Alabama, especially his wife.
Well, practically every truck that is produced today has GPS installed in it. So for companies which have fleets, they already know where every of their trucks is. We've heard, for instance, from companies in Serbia through our customer development process that we would have a very hard time putting mobile apps into the hands of the drivers, because they don't want to do anything that they do not need to do. But from what we're hearing from the UK companies, drivers would be very receptive to this. We would not have a problem. For the US, we still need to see, but I think they're not as unionized as they might have been back in the day. There are already a number of mobile apps for drivers in the US, and I'm guessing if you can demonstrate value to those drivers with features perhaps similar to the ones that Waze has, that might be also something that can sweeten the deal.
You guys mentioned regulatory compliance is like a big feature of the software. It seems like you guys have a lot of in-house and expertise for doing that in Serbia, but you mentioned scaling out the business to UK and like the US, all of which probably have very complex regulations around this. How do you plan to sort of address that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, for ERP-like systems like ours, it's always going to be painful to respect all the local regulations, but this is obviously something that we would need to do. Since, especially in the UK, regulations are perhaps the biggest problem for the trucking companies, since they have a local sort of Gestapo organization intended for regulating trucks on the road, and they can fine you 100,000 euros, like they fined one company which was not respecting the driver's hours over there, and there for even the slightest error they can fine you very harshly for whatever reason. And they're also actually, they're not state-funded, the organization that I'm talking about. So they're sort of motivated to fine people in order to finance themselves. For this purpose, we are partnering up with the consulting firm that I mentioned, which actually they make their living from consulting firms about compliance. It's cheaper for those trucking companies to pay these guys to consult them to make sure that they don't get fined. And currently, those guys are solving the problem by using this huge spreadsheet on Google Drive. Our idea is to translate that into software and to build a mobile app that will make it possible. For instance, the driver has to walk around the truck each morning before he goes out on the road to say, okay, I've checked this tire, this works, perhaps even take a photo. So it should be manageable. For the US, I think it's far easier. One thing that they have that gives problems to their companies is fuel taxation, which is US specific. But that shouldn't be too hard a challenge as well. Thanks.
Any more questions?
Okay, thanks guys.
Thank you. Thanks for question. We have 2 more to go. The next one is Stream Arena from Serbia. An applause for Dragan.
Dan. Hello everyone, my name is Dan. I'm a product manager, and with 3 of my friends I'm a co-founder at Stream Arena, which is a second screen platform. We like to think of it as an online version of London's Hyde Park, but only for TV. So why we're creating this? We believe that there's a huge battle going on right now. It's a battle that's been going on since forever. It's a battle between public opinion and censorship on the other side. Every time you turn on your TV, someone is giving you content that you cannot freely and directly comment or discuss. And by doing so, to change that content and make a meaningful impact on the world around you. On the other hand, broadcasters would very much like to hear what you want to say, but if possible, without any public disclosure, right? And remember the last time you were watching a football game, for instance, guys, right? And you were not able to discuss that game with your friends online simply because that's not their topic of interest. Or you watched a political TV show and you could not oppose that politician's opinion, but it was your own life in stake that he's been deciding upon. But we could say the current trends in technology are changing the game, that there are more than 50% the technology provides more freedom than ever, because we know for a fact that more than 50% of tablet and smartphone users are active on social networks while they're watching TV. But in fact, that doesn't change anything at all. It just emphasizes the ever-growing solitude and loneliness among the people while they're engaging themselves in what was previously in the past a very social activity. But beside all of that, there's a huge problem in collecting data related to TV content in very cluttered social networks that exist today. That at least 20% of TV viewers are using second screen devices to chat on Facebook and Twitter about the show that they're watching at that moment. And that's our target group, a very focused one. But we found out that most of the competitors are lacking in basic features that we have. For instance, you can comment, you can create groups, you can rate TV program that you're watching, and we're not hardware dependent at all. And the only competition that we found out so far is ZBox, but it's very commercial, it's stuffed with features that are promoting the TV stations, the TV companies. In fact, there is no service that, that is focused on an end user and without neglecting the enterprise side. And we're offering for the enterprise side statistics and big data analytics, branded channels, where under one subdomain, all the discussions of one specific TV network will be held on the one subdomain with custom design pages and advertising messages as well. And right now we're testing MVP. What's following next is testing MVP in foreign markets here in the region in the first place and further development of functionalities. And what we're looking for is investment to secure further development and especially user traction activities. After we reach the second stage, we will look for sales partnerships for foreign markets. And at the end, the team, from left to right, the happiest guy there, Alin, dancing Gangnam Style. He's a CTO, senior developer. Boris is an interface designer with more than 10 years of graphic and web design. Dragan is project manager, entrepreneur and owner of a web development company. And I'm a product manager focused on user experience with previous background in market research industry. And also in free time, I'm organizing TEDx Novi Sad, the most successful TEDx event in Serbia. join us, streamarena.tv. You'll now watch TV alone again.
Thank you, Dan. Questions for Dan and Stream Arena?
Thank you. So which platform are you actually targeting on building this application?
A platform? The mobile devices, if I get your question.
Yeah, okay, so you actually need to have mobile next to you and you command...
If you're using mobile, yes, or tablet or whatever. We're targeting users of tablets and smartphones.
Okay, what about smart TV applications?
That is in consideration as well, right? But for now, we're focusing on this. But we're open for suggestions, right? But for now, we're holding to the MVP methodology to test in small bits and pieces and to pivot if we need quickly. That's one of the possible markets, definitely.
And how do you make money?
As I said, selling big data we will make money because we're live for 1 week right now. You're welcome to join us.
And do you already have first dollars from the first week? No.
No. I mean, we never know. We'll see. But we're planning to sell, as I said, big data analytics for specifically content analysis, where we will correlate, for instance, the contents of the, it is very hard statistics, relating comments, content of the comments with the number of likes and dislikes and ratings of the TV show and stuff like that. Very, as I said, complex. I'm guessing that we are clear about that.
Maybe you had already answered, but do you need smart TVs?
No, we don't need smart TVs. If that was the question, no.
Today it's like only Samsung.
We're not hardware dependent at all.
Okay, so it doesn't matter. So
sorry?
It doesn't matter. You can use it. Everywhere.
You can use it on all devices. Yes.
Okay.
Any more questions for Dan? Okay, thank you. Thanks, Dan. One applause for him. And the last one, lovely Hiroku from Croatia.
Are you ready? Okay, go. So the year 2006 was quite interesting for me. It was my final year in high school, and it turned out that that was the year that actually brought me here. Not only here, but also to a lot of other places as well. What happened? That was the time that I got the chance to do something that nobody else in our country managed to do. That is convert an entire school in a Microsoft-centric country to Linux. And we did it, and it's still working, so it's fine. But that isn't all, of course. Back in 2006, I started working for Google, but because I was too young to actually work for them and code, I was a mentor for some older guys, which was a bit weird, but they're quite famous in the industry now, so I guess I did at least something right. I also started 2 open source projects. If you've ever burned a CD on Linux and it didn't work, it's probably my fault. And if you used the buy on Linux, it's probably my fault as well if you couldn't install it, because they use my tools to generate these files. So pretty much a lot, millions of people use my stuff. I don't know why. You should ask them. Back in 2006, also one of the first cloud companies in the world was started, and I actually saw they had something good, so I said, okay, fine, I'll start a community. And so I did. What happened? 2 years later, they made a $22 million exit, and they were bootstrapped. And that was primarily not because only of their software, but because of the great community growth. After that, I started 2 companies which are still growing and profitable. We rejected investments. They wanted to buy us. We didn't let them. And here we are, solving some other problems. This is me on the right, Mario Janic, my co-founder, Matija Bogdanovic. He's a computer science professor at high school where I actually converted to Linux. This is our product that we are presenting today, Lovely Heroku. Lovely Heroku is the world's first full-featured Heroku mobile client. But it's not only a Heroku mobile client, it's a client that helps you solve burning problems when you're not near your computer. So what happens? There's some stranger, let's say it's you probably, because that's how it happens, on a vacation. And you're happy, you have no idea what's happening with your servers or applications, and you actually don't want to know. But all of a sudden, the phone starts ringing. If you're a developer or a sysadmin, you know how this happens. It's probably happening when you're at a dinner with your girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever, or when you're sleeping, if that ever happens. And then you're sad, but you don't want to be sad. However, this guy knows something that you don't. And I'm going to let you in a little secret. This is it. So it's a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous mobile client currently for iOS only. It helps you solve all your hosting related problems, currently only on Heroku, but later on some more complex issues that you really don't want to be solving because either I or some other sysadmins already solved them for you. Heroku, unfortunately, doesn't publish a lot of its financial data, but back in 2010, it was sold for $212 million, and it is the world's leading platform as a service hosting platform in the world. And it currently runs around 3 million apps, which is quite a lot, quite big market, but still quite small. Yep, 1 minute, that's fine. We are selling it for $4.99. We plan to change that in the future. We'll see how. Distribution blog, social media, newsletter, referrals. Of course, this is what we are going to do in the future. This is just the first version that we made quite quickly. But the important thing about this is not Lovely Heroku. It's about the problems that we've seen in the past that quite a few people, if any, in the entire world, and especially this region saw. We want to solve them. It's a pretty big market, not just for hosting, but for related problems as well, like reporting and support. Thank you very much.
Questions for Mario and Lovely Heroku?
So what does this do again?
So it's a mobile application that lets you manage your Heroku applications. It lets you scale, buy add-ons, look at the logs, fix problems, create new applications, whatever you want actually, that is possible on the Heroku platform.
Okay. It's a deployment platform. For other apps.
Okay. So Heroku is a deployment platform, yeah, and we make it easy to solve problems and scale them up and everything else on the go.
All right, I'm not the enterprise guy, so don't ask me.
I mean, more of a technical curiosity. Does Heroku have an API for all this stuff? Or are you guys like hacking their interface? Or?
Yes, they actually do have the API. It's pretty buggy. They had to solve like 30 problems as we were developing this app, and they still have a lot of problems. I would never say that quite a big company, they're part of Salesforce, would have such problems. For example, they don't have unique IDs for stuff. I mean, I've never seen that in the past. They had like same IP for several totally unrelated stuff in totally unrelated tables, so it clashes. So they can choose this, they can choose that. Wrong errors, wrong URLs, everything's broken. It's like, yeah, wow.
So it's $4.99 one time, and
yep.
Did you launch already?
Well, actually today is the exclusive launch. However, we couldn't tell Apple to launch today, so it launched a couple of days before, like 2 or 3 days, and we have 10 sales already, and we didn't promote it anywhere.
Okay. What's your revenue projection then? What do you expect?
I mean, no revenue projection for this app in particular. As I said, we saw a lot of problems in the hosting industry in general and related problems that support a business around it. And we want to expand into that as well. So Lovely Heroku is just a stepping stone to that. I wouldn't call Lovely Heroku as a business that will grow to even a couple of millions. It's not a business like that. But it's a stepping stone to something bigger, just like my previous companies were.
So will you open up to other services like Amazon Web Services or?
I think I talked to the Skype guy about the Amazon and somebody else. It's quite a different issue to talk about Amazon and Heroku. Because Heroku is a platform as a service, and it's quite simple actually. You don't need to know anything about hosting to put your app there. To do it on Amazon, it's quite complex. They have like 20 different services you have to connect. And when you actually deploy, it's fine to manage. But for the most things, you have to log into the console and do stuff. And before you do that, you have to think quite wisely how you're going to do it. Because if you want to scale to Heroku, in our application, it's like 2 clicks. But on Amazon, you have to think how are you going to shard the database? How are you going to approach the database? How are you going to change the code? How are you going to manage the load balancer? A lot of other things. So it isn't that simple, at least to solve it from this point of view as Lovely Heroku is. Of course, there are ways to make it simpler, and there are companies working on it, but it's still, they are quite far from a real solution. I hope I answered your question. Great.
Any questions for
Thank you.
Mario?
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Mario.